It is Thursday, Marvel fans, and you know what that means? It is time for the FOMO show. We are talking Moon Knight episode 4. Tonight, we've got some Marvel Cinematic news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. So stick around and don't miss out. This is the FOMO show. MCU edition. Just throwing that out there in case you didn't get it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is Dylan.
I'm Quinn.
And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Trovo, wherever you at, appreciate you watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so that you know when we go live, when we drop new videos and all that fun stuff, because sometimes our schedules are a little whack. So, you know, that way you're kind of up on what's going on. You get a little notification. And you can always go back and watch it. It'll live there, especially on YouTube and Facebook and stuff.
The sound is good.
Sweet. All right, and once again, thank you guys for your support. And wow, it's still frozen. Yeah, our accounts are still frozen. not really, but yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can follow, especially on Facebook. There's a little link where you can drop tips and all that jazz, and find our Patreon and all that fun stuff. So, well, yeah. So if you want to do that, but also if you just want to help out and money's not your thing right now, that's fine too. You can also just share and like. That's a huge deal. Appreciate that. That way the algorithm will help other people find us. That's a big deal for us. So also check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com and you can see some of our merch there and all that jazz. And yep. If you're doing a movie, let me do your photos and your poster and all that jazz. Especially if you're local. Anyways.
Cinematography. No, that's not cinematography. Or is that cinematography?
What's cinematography?
I don't know what cinematography is.
That's like, now I'm going to look stupid. It is basically, a cinematographer is the one who runs the camera, sets up the shots and the lenses and the look of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The photographer for the movie, except for moving photos, right?
Okay.
Moving images. Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, because it does, because depending on what the feel of the movie you want, there are like subtle, like you don't think it means anything, but subtle psychological cues that, like if it looks a certain way, it makes us feel a certain way, and we don't realize that. But cinematographers are paid to know that, so that they can convey what the film is trying to say to the audience.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Sounds like there's a whole science behind
It is. It really is. Yeah, whether it be tone and mood and color palette and all that jazz and shadow and light, it's a big deal. It's pretty fun. Alrighty, so yeah, just stay healthy out there. If you know they've got some cases spiking up on the coasts and everything, so we are safe and snug right here in the middle of the Midwest and Northwest Arkansas. South Midwest, I don't know. We're
the Northwest Southwest.
Yeah.
We are Arkansas. Ka-ka-ka!
But never Arkansas.
Never Arkansas.
All right, so yeah, just stay healthy out there. Do what you need to do to, you know, take care of you and your own.
Yes.
And with that, I'll pass it on to you, my friend.
If you haven't left now, it's not too late, but please don't, because this is your spoiler alert. If you haven't watched episode 4 of Moon Knight, it's not doing the thing. That's weird.
Yeah, we're not getting the video signal.
It's because our accounts are frozen.
Yeah, we probably just need to reset the program.
If you haven't watched episode 4 of Moon Knight, you need to pause this, go watch that, and then come back. Unless you want to be spoiled, you have been warned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Try it again. Wow, that's so weird that we only got audio on that.
Huh. Interesting.
I wonder if it's like that for the others. We'll see.
We'll see.
Just all right. At least we got audio. You have to look at our ugly mugs.
Yes.
Without the special effects.
Rating.
Yeah.
I will give it a.
Let's go ahead and do the title first.
Okay.
Even though it's
That's cool. All right. All right. Episode 4, The Tomb. Mark and Steven find... Nope, I did that backwards. Mark and Steven must find balance as supernatural threats ahead look to stop them.
It's very fitting as it was Easter weekend.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
So, rating. I'll give this one a 8 bullet holes in the chest out of 10.
8? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to give it a full 10 Scarlet Scarabs.
A full 10 Scholar Scarabs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, man, this is like very, very. There are some shows that every episode, like Westworld, I'm just like, or Game of Thrones at first, it was just like, what just happened? Like, what is going on? And this twist got me. Like, this is very, very, not very often that I get got, and I got. So, yeah, bravo to them. And I knew that there was comic sources for, you know, the mental hospital and all that kind of thing, but the way they applied it kind of threw me, and I was like, yeah, I was still trying to figure it out by the end of the episode. What just happened?
So yeah, it was a lot to unpack in this episode. The first, it wasn't really half. It was really felt like it was the last 10 minutes that happened. But the first 40 minutes before we go to the white room.
Yeah. The first of it seemed kind of straightforward, although there was some very purposely placed Easter eggs that really kind of drove home the idea behind the second quarter or third quarter or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Where, like, for instance, it was purposely shot to look a lot like The Mummy, Indiana Jones, and Tomb Raider.
I was super feeling that.
Yeah. So, like, even the locations that they shot were the same locations that they used for The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, like, everybody loves the 90s Mummy, right?
Yeah.
Like, Rachel Weisz, I think, played the main female lead in that, and I was super hard feeling that from Layla. Yeah.
Super. The second thing, I was like, oh, there's fresh blood. I think y'all should, like, leave. You're in a room full of things that could just possibly pop off the wall. Mm-hmm. And then you heard that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. It's like, this is
at that moment, as soon as, like, the horror vibes kick in, I'm like, I wonder what Quinn's doing. Like, there's a moment with this.
It's like,
he hates horror.
This isn't what I came here for.
Even though you do The Walking Dead.
Yeah. I was like, all right, it's really dark. I can't see it. This is not what I came here for, y'all.
It was super dark.
Yep.
Like Batman dark.
Batman was so dark. You see that meme where it's like Batman movies throughout the years, and it just keeps getting darker and darker, and then the next one's just a black screen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. My daughter was like, I can't see what's going on, and I was like, you can see her leg, and you can see the cave, like you can see the movement. Like, why can't you put the pieces together? Like, I don't know, just me. Like, I have my TV. Like, I have a LG something or other, but there's a. And I am one of those, like, cinemaphiles that I have to have the settings perfect on my TV because I want the director's intent. So there's a filmmaking setting on the thing, and I'll tell you what, those scenes are black. They're just like dark. Yeah. And like it adapts slightly to the light, like the ambient light or whatever. But as far as like the color tone, the color palettes and everything, they are as close to what is coded in the original content as possible.
Wow.
And I love that. Like, there are certain settings, like your motion, whatever that shit is, like, turn that crap off. That is screwing up your TV.
Okay.
That is screwing up what you watch.
Cool.
Because they're like, yeah, it's got this. It'll make it look weird. No, it's making it blurry where it doesn't need to be blurry. Yeah.
the more you know.
Yeah.
So back to Moon Knight.
Yeah. Get off my soapbox.
The Indiana Jones feels. It had all the feels. He got chased through a tomb by a mummy. The second
creatures. Although
on that cliff.
Yeah.
And then something, I was like, there's gaps in the wall. Why are there gaps in the wall? No, I don't got time. I was like, she dead. She dead. It's like, all you hear is banging and clanging, and she comes back out, then she gets snatched again. I'm like, oh, why?
Which was another scene from the comics, like where that hand comes in.
Yeah.
That, I forget the run that it is, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That mental institution run.
Mm-hmm. So
They're
it is
pulling very hard from.
They really are. Then we finally get, I think, the best moment in the first half.
3/4?
Well, okay, let's say first quarter is before they get in the tomb, second quarter in the tomb, third quarter hospital. Yeah, we don't need a fourth.
What about fourth quarter?
Twist? I don't know. I mean, credits.
Anyways, you get it. You get it. Thirds, whatever.
So
Third acts.
3
acts.
3 acts. 3 marks. Okay. So, him.
You say it very much alluded to in this episode as well.
Super hard. I was like, you just stop. Why don't you go in that room?
There's the red sarcophagus.
Yeah. But
Let him out.
They found the lost tomb of Alexander the Great. Which, before... Go ahead.
You thought it was going to be Kang, right?
I thought it was
going to be Kang, too.
He's going to say, the Pharaoh Arama. No, he didn't. He said Alexander the Great, and I was like, golly.
Yeah, that kind of threw me. Like I was watching it, so I watched it with each daughter because of just scheduling or whatever. So my youngest daughter, like I was like, it's gonna be Kang, it's gonna be Kang. She's like, She's like, last time you thought it was Mephisto. I was like, yeah, you're right, but it's like they've set this one up. She's like, they set the other one up too. I was like, shut up, you shut up, you're wrong.
You leave me alone and let me have this. So yeah, if it were Kang, if he had said the lost tomb of Pharaoh Aramata, and then he opened it to like nothing being in there, I would have lost my mind. But he didn't, and there was Alexander the Great, and I was like, oh, that's also pretty cool.
Unless they're gonna make Alexander the Great a variant of Kang, like, what are they doing? It's like the opportunities right there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've got to set Kang up. You got to. There's got to be something.
Some Kang tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kang ties.
Kang ties. But I feel like there might be one coming, just not yet. No visuals. What's going on, guys?
I want to close it and reopen just this one little thing. But yeah, keep going.
So then from that, he was the voice of I forgot the god's name. Rahama? No. Rima? No. Reba? No.
Reba. That's a great SNL run where Keenan plays Reba McIntyre. Oh, Reba. That's so
yes. What is the alligator lady? Crocodile lady.
Oh, Amit.
Amit. There we go. I was way off and getting further away. Amit. He was like, Alexander was the voice of Amit, meaning Alexander was an avatar, which is probably why he was. Oh snap! That's why she got sealed away. It didn't click until now. Because she was using him as her avatar for conquest, and then they were like, "No."
Well, and he apparently turned on her too. Yeah. So at some point, like it said, like there's a quote that Alexander wept because there were no more nations to conquer because he had done everything, and he was Macedonian, he was Greek.
Yeah.
But he insisted on being. I mean, all that it says all that in the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Alexander the Great. That's where like you get all these different ties to like obelisks and Greek culture, and because of he brought all that from Egyptian culture.
He did. Loved it over there. He went black and never went back. So.
Yeah, and that is actual historical fact that they have not found Alexander the Great's tomb. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like when they build fiction around fact like that.
Or his library.
Right. Yeah.
Which, that's a whole thing. So yeah. So I found him. He was like, all right, let me dig in here. He goes ahead to proceed to pop off his face covering, dig down his gullet, break his jaw.
Sorry, Mr. Great.
And then the whole entire time, it's like, he's going to bite you. Please stop.
Oh.
He's going to bite you. It's like...
Yeah, because those priests came back alive. Like, there was something operating there.
There was something going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with Alexander the Great. Ever. So, but he, got in there, pulled it out, and lo and behold, our little statue, we forgot to talk about the biggest thing at the very beginning.
The kiss?
Not the kiss,
well,
before that. When they were putting Khonshu's statue away.
Yeah.
There were 9 other statues.
Yeah. So, I mean, in Egyptian mythology, lore, whatever you want to call it, religion, there are hundreds of gods, right? But there are, like your Ennead, like your main dudes, right?
You got your big boys.
And in the main group that we saw, there were 6, and they made a point to say that there were 9. Not 7, there's 9 in the Ennead. Remember he said?
Yes.
But there were only 6 there, so I mean we're trying to fill the gaps. Like, okay, well maybe we got Khonshu, maybe we've got Amit, and then Bast or something like that.
Yeah.
Bast. I'm trying to use the accent. So I mean that could be a possibility. But we've also, you mentioned we haven't seen Ra, we haven't seen Anubis, like several other ones.
There's Horus.
Yeah, Horus. Well, I mean, which is obviously a big one because he is like the main dude. And there's another Egyptian lore that kind of ties into, I think, what is happening plot-wise right now with the left eye of Horus representing the moon and the right eye representing the sun.
Yes.
I guess I can go ahead and say that, just a tiny little rabbit trail. But so yeah, from what I understand in Egyptian lore, I don't remember that part of school. I don't remember the Egyptian lore that well because I could not grasp from my conservative Christian mind, tiny time when I was very, very young, that how are gods acting like people and they're not righteous and they're not right and they're fighting and they die? Like, how does that work? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Yeah. But yeah, they're very much like the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Asgardian gods. They fight amongst themselves. They can die, all this kind of stuff. But so in this Eye of Horus setup, the left one represents the moon, the right one represents the sun. When Horus was fighting his brother, you mentioned it earlier, I think it was the god of the dead.
Anubis?
I think it was Anubis, maybe. He was fighting after the king died, or they were fighting for the crown or something like that, and Horus's eye was put out. And it was healed by another god. So, and Horus ended up becoming like the king, the king of the gods. So, plot-wise, that could be where we're at, where the eye has been put out. Like the god of the moon has been silenced. He's, but he will be healed by another god. And so we're looking at potentially Tawet. Taweret or something. Taweret. Yeah. and which is the hippo-headed god that we saw at the very end, which is like so Madagascar to me. I was like, it's Cheetah. But also there is the god of music and love.
Oh, girl from the temple, yeah.
Yeah, from the temple that told him where to find the location of the Magi.
Yep. Also, yeah, that could be. I think Hippo Lady took Towlet right in front of us. It would probably be the one to end up healing, which would probably be having all three marks.
That makes sense for her being a fertility goddess too.
Yeah.
And I think she's also referred to as the nurse. So in the credits, there's a bunch of those. I forgot the name of the statues. There's a bunch of those statues, and she is among them.
Yes.
So.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Let's hold off on talking at the very end, because there's a couple different theories for that. So yeah, so where are we with? Yeah, so there was a bunch of them that were.
There were 9 that we saw. I don't know if it paneled out anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And not to mention, like when we got into the main chamber in where we saw the Council of the Gods, there were a bunch kind of off to the side too. So
bless her.
These 5 could be like kind of like
what's left?
Yeah, they've taken control, and that's why they don't interfere, because they have a certain agenda.
And you know what usually happens
because what's his face is over it, and we don't see Horus, we don't see any of the Ra or any of the big ones.
Nope, you don't see essentially the big 3, I would say.
Yeah.
So what I think happened is what happens always. There ends up being a civil war amongst the gods with their avatars and the gods themselves, and then so they might have quelled whoever started the civil war, and then everybody else who was still trying to like fight in any capacity and not just be docile got sealed away.
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of Loki actually winning and overthrowing Odin, and then locking Thor and everyone away, and the Warriors 3 and all these different godheads. So yeah, that's basically it. Seems like what kind of thing happened.
Yeah, feels like. But so the only thing we haven't seen
just the fact they were just like, he says you're doing bad things. Are you doing bad things? No, he's not doing bad things. Get out of here.
Get out of here, Deborah. We already told you once. Deborah. So yeah, that was very funny. But I also don't know how they're gonna break the little statues.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder, if they break the statues, are the gods not able to come back? Because obviously they can be resurrected, because it wouldn't be a threat otherwise.
Yeah.
Like Arthur Harrow's whole task would be meaningless.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I was wondering, why didn't Mark like use that as leverage and be like, I'm gonna break it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let us out. Like,
because I feel like it can't be that simple just to go.
Because they obviously need that statue to perform the resurrection.
So.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a MacGuffin. They can just do it, whatever. So there's got to be some reason. I mean, could they piece it back together? I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll break it in the process. Who knows? I don't know. But it just seemed to me just like, why wouldn't he use that as leverage to get them out of there?
At least that, then fight for another day.
Right.
Instead of being like, all right, let's go. And then, which is literally what happened. So, Mark then, we finally make it. We're back to Alexander's chamber again, y'all.
Well, let's talk about the little moment between Stephen and Layla.
Where she was like...
Yeah, she's like, this is for my father. And it's like, oh, your father, he'd be positively glowing, knowing that you're here.
And she's like, you still like Mark, but you're honest with me, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, because he's literally as he's trying to hide from Layla, he's literally the incarnation of Mark. That is everything that Layla loves about him and everything he loves about Layla.
Yeah. That
is trying to protect Layla. And so that's why she fell for Steven so easily and why Steven falls for her so easily. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But the fact that he was like, bro code, but I'm still going to kiss you anyway.
Mark just had to like sit there and be like, okay, cool, fam. That's cool. What? Pop myself in the face.
The whole Fight Club. He's like, oh shit. And then he just falls down the hall. Wish you would have seen that. So there's that whole thing. And then so like hardcore setting up, because this is the tomb that her dad was trying to find when everything went down. And so Arthur Harrow takes advantage of that and just, I hate it when they do this. He set her up to have to be overwhelmed and want to deal with this right now. So I get it on that perspective, where he baited her, but they do this every freaking time, and like, can't they have it? To me, it's just weak writing. Mm-hmm. Like, even though like the show has been great and it's been amazing and the writing and everything, this moment gets me because it's weak writing, because they should be having this discussion on the run, not stagnant in one location, standing there with each other, just waiting for something to happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's the whole ticking clock. The bad guys are coming, but they should be on the run, building suspense, building tension, because them just standing there is kind of dumb. They're better than that. They're smarter than that. Layla is not that emotional.
Yeah.
She hasn't been emotional the entire time. Like
she's a grown woman.
Yeah, and then suddenly she, like, I get it. This is her father, and she wants to know, but she knows that they're there and they're about to die.
Because she just talked to Arthur. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not buying that whole like, I need to know right now. Like, that was to me that was bullshit. I call bullshit.
I hear you. Well, that I mean, it does make things super tricky, because Arthur still had plenty of dudes just around.
Yeah, they could have caught up with them, but I guess they like the only thing that I could see why they did that is because they wanted that scene of Arthur and his dudes coming through that main door cinematically, and they wanted that moment of Mark falling into that pool cinematically. That's the reason they stayed in that room. That's the only reason I can think of. It's just like, okay, like that seems self-satisfying.
I mean, was there another way out?
Yeah, I mean, Layla was hiding in the door off to the side. Like, they were like, he was like, let's go, you know?
Oh, I guess I missed the door off. Okay, so yeah.
I mean, they could have, if there wasn't a way out, they could have at least established that there wasn't. And in the middle of it, like with her badgering him, like, I need to know now. And he's like, and then he's looking and finds no other way out. And then that's when he could have been, okay, here's what happened. And at least they've established why they're staying in that room, because they can't get out. Instead of her just, I need to have my answer now, because she's not that type of person. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah.
But we did get confirmation that the backstory is the same as the comics.
Yep. Which
is nice, but you know.
And that's what all the TV shows have been ultimately, is like them just kind of adapting a comic or a couple into like a set series, and giving us, you know, like comic accurate suits.
Yeah.
Which has been,
bruh, even the Thor teaser, which we're gonna talk about at a later date. We're just scheduling, getting time and everything. Yes. That one scene was like stolen directly from that. I mean, that panel is amazing to see that.
Yep.
You know, but there was, you know, what's his face was there, but that was the only difference.
Yes. So yeah, but it was really good. I'm excited. It feels. We'll talk about Thor
Leaning
later.
hard into comic accuracy, and it is so good.
Who's directing it?
Thor?
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Again?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Yeah.
Taika.
Man knows what he's doing.
For real. If you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death, go watch that shit.
Good goodness.
So good. So good.
Ow.
It looks like they might have used even some of the same set there with the whole pirate scene. But we can get into that later. We've got to stay on agenda because
Yes.
we can't
Right.
go super long tonight.
So yes, in the tomb, Arthur comes in, had his whole villain moment of, I'm right, you know I'm right, just give it here and you can walk out tonight. And he's
Now he's Billy D. Williams.
He wears a cane, pajamas, and sandals. Never seen.
Colt 45.
So
He pulled his little Colt 45.
he did. I don't know where he got that German-looking gun in World War II have himself.
Speaking of, there is a connection that I forgot to mention to the cult of Ammit to Hydra. The German town in episode 1, that is the town that we saw in Cap 1.
Uh-oh. No, Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, man. No, we can't do this.
yeah.
What?
There's more, but I can't remember the details at the moment. It's out there online if you want to look it up.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Because think about like what was Red Skull's mission? What was his whole thrust?
Power? World domination?
Looking for
Artifacts?
magical
Oh,
artifacts.
And he just so happened to find... Wait, hold
The
on.
scarab.
He found the scarab. So, because then what if he found something else in the same town? So this town is littered with stuff,
Possibly.
first off.
Possibly. I mean, that might. Who knows? But the connection is they could have gotten that scarab from Hydra, and it like been a kind of like an offshoot of Hydra or something.
Huh. It started as a... Oh. Interesting.
Because think about in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, what was Hydra trying to do?
And the Winter Soldier? Make more Captain Americas? No.
No, they were trying to initiate a program
Oh, yeah.
that would judge people before they've made before they've done wrong.
Oh.
What is Ammit trying to do? What is Arthur Hare trying to do?
Oh. Judge people based on the probability that they will do something wrong.
That's right, before they've done wrong. Only a different route.
Yeah.
Same thing, different route.
Are we watching Captain America 2, Dylan? Dang, I think we're watching Captain America 2. Alright, well, I mean...
With magical twists.
With a magical twist. So...
It's got me like a charm.
Mark, then, did you die? Are you okay?
Just spill water.
Mark then did the thing where all, movie tropes of, I'm not giving you this over my dead body. And
Arthur said, bet.
it's like, cool. My Fraulein, and someone just puts a... Where did he get this pistol? I was looking at his pistol like, what are you shooting him with? Why do you have that? So yeah, and he took out a couple guys before he got 2 in the chest, and then
Yeah, using Alexander's axe.
yeah, I was like, is this axe about to start glowing? I bet money this axe is gonna start
Because
glowing.
in the comics, that Alexander's axe, I'm pretty sure it was Alexander's axe. It was like one of the artifacts that Moon Knight ended up with.
Yep.
Right?
It was, and I'm like, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he used it, flung it. That guy had the worst day. Got an axe in the chest, and then Mark got 2 in his.
Yeah, it always baffles me, like, because I've written action scenes before, and it's like, it always baffles me when somebody takes a hand-to-hand weapon and is faster than somebody that can pull a trigger. It's like you got like 5, 6 men standing around. All they got to do is go, brrr, and he takes out 3 of them
Yep.
before they can even go. You can go and do this. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand he's Moon Knight. He doesn't even have the Moon Knight powers right now.
He doesn't.
So
He's just Mark Spector.
he's just a badass.
Yeah. Shot in the chest, fall in the puddle. That water had been disgusting, or the purest thing on the planet, but I'm most likely disgusting.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
you know that tomb had to smell.
Yeah, boy, howdy.
Smell-o-vision would have been horrible.
Yep. So he. Ugh.
Yeah, but in that moment, I gotta hand it to Ethan Hawke. In that moment, when he shot Mark and pulled that trigger, he looked so conflicted at the same time that he had to do that. Like, tears were in his eyes. Like, his emotion was just like, I mean, those 2 little scenes where they went back and forth and showing his face when he was shooting, like, man, it was just like how painful it was for him to have to do that.
Because right before that, we just glossed over just a little bit. He walked in, was like, so good to see you. You're free. The first time I woke up and I was free of Khonshu, it was just like, ugh.
Yeah, we got a little quote from Hamlet. The rest is silence.
The rest is silence. Yep. And then he had to do the thing that he didn't want to do because, like, you could have just left and everything would have been fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to take Mark out, he could have done it a long time ago.
Super long time ago. So, but yeah, then Mark fades.
Mm-hmm. He falls in a very shallow pool.
Very shallow pool that was deep AF. And
that moment when they turned it upside down and he didn't have the shots anymore.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was obviously like him pulling the whole Into the Spider-Verse thing where the diving turns into flying and rising, ascending into heaven or the afterlife or the underworld or whatever.
Or extra purgatory, wherever this may be.
Yeah. So that's based on the running theories and what I could gather, like, this is either happening in his mind or in the afterworld or a mixture of both, because we have seen different versions of the afterworld. Like, we've seen Black Panther when he sees his when T'Challa sees his, it is the ethereal planes, right? But when Killmonger saw his, it was in his dad's apartment.
Yeah.
So it kind of like is
Tony saw his, it was inside the Soul Stone.
Right, and when Thanos saw his, it was also inside the Soul Stone with the kind of structure where he first met Gamora.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's kind of filtered through the person. So there's like a mixture of both. So what makes me think that it's in his head is that he is physically seeing other versions of himself, and they're physical, or they're right there. Mm-hmm. So there's that, but also what makes me think that it is Amit playing kind of like, because Amit is the god of death, right? And she's one of the gods of death, and so he's like in between, and so he's in her realm now.
Yes.
Right? So she can do what she wants with him.
Oh, he died. He got shot with a thing in his hand.
Yeah, he died. And so, well, I mean, whether he had it with him or not, like, well, I don't know. I guess either, because Tawet is also a statue. Yeah. And she was there. So I think in the comics, in that situation, they were actually in the overvoid, which is where the gods live, and it turned out it was Khonshu behind the whole thing, trying to break him or free him or something like that.
Yeah.
in his twisted way.
In his twisted way, which I think that's playing a part in it. But I also think,
And well, I'm sorry, one more thing. The psychiatrist was Emmett, which turned out to be Amit. So there was some other gods playing parts in there.
the one before I continue. So I think in my head brain, because he got shot and is dying, he's not dead yet. Because he was dead, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah,
and
she needs something from him.
Yeah, she needs either something from him, but also because he died with it in his hand, it connected him there. Which it could still be the Overvoid with all the other gods just there. But because he died with it, it transported him there.
Oh, okay. So there's like some kind of physical connection to that. I could see that. Yeah.
So
Did he? I couldn't. Did he have it in his hand?
when he fell in the water.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if he had it or if she had it.
Ooh, she may have. I'll have to go back and look. We'll see. But yeah.
Either way.
Either way. But
that makes sense.
yes. Thank you. What was I about to say? Coffins.
The sarcophagus.
The sarcophaguses.
Lots of Easter eggs.
Lots of Easter eggs. Boy, howdy. The first thing that got me was Stephen Grant. The Adventures of Stephen Grant.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes. So I was like, oh man, this is damn.
Because in the comics, it was Stephen Grant was like an actor he had kind of projected on, who was like in a space show.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was different. You know, it actually kind of makes more sense than like doing a third-party space show.
Yeah. Unless they're alluding to something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was really good. And then him going through, I know I did not catch all the Easter eggs. So I was like,
even the there were the obvious ones like the Rubik's cube and all that stuff. But every bingo number that they called out, if you go back and you watch Nerdist's breakdown, every bingo number they tied it to a comic where certain person showed up or something happened.
So when they posted that on Instagram, I was like, that's weird. Why are they posting this bingo?
Because there's no B22.
Yeah.
They even said like T19 or something. I was like, there's no T in bingo.
No. So I was like, what is going on? And I was trying to like see if they were spelling a word or anything, but they weren't. But not that I could see, not plainly as though unless they laid it out.
Right.
Unless,
unless some sort of acronym or something.
Yeah. So I'm sure somebody will figure that out and then be like, here's what it actually means in their basement.
With their mom. Get out the computer.
Gary, I need you to come upstairs. Your little brother needs his butt changed. No, Mom, I don't wanna. So
I'm doing important work, Mom.
Just wait till your father gets home. I swear.
To know.
So yeah, then finally starts getting off his meds, which they had that man catatonic for a minute. Yeah. And
Oscar Isaac, man, it's like the whole drool and everything.
Yep.
Like, bro,
like, dang. Jeez.
Good job.
Good job. Did you say give me some cold drink before I do this? That was a lot of drool. Uh-oh.
And in that scene where he's hugging himself and they make it look like all one scene or whatever, his brother actually was the stand-in for the dude he was hugging.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So he found Steven. Mark found Steven in a sarcophagus. Broke him out just because he heard Steven talking. I was like, oh, this sounds like Steven, Mark.
Yeah.
And all that. Then
almost every breakdown I watched was like, man, Oscar Isaac is really good at like being glad to see people, because there was like some really hard like Poe Finn vibes there.
Yeah. And then, so they continue down the hall. They look to the left. There's a red sarcophagus, and it's just beating the mess out the thing.
And I also noticed that you know how like he had the sand like around his bed, almost like a salt circle or something like that.
Yeah.
There was like a little mound of sand that it was set on.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's something but I noticed it.
His ankles were also strapped into the wheelchair, which for a hot moment, my brain was like, are they really about to say this all was just not happening? For like a hot moment. Because when he went to go to therapy and talking to Arthur Harrow, who wasn't Arthur Harrow. I mean, was he Arthur Harrow? No, he was. But yeah, for that moment right there, I was like, oh.
Some serious Legion vibes there.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, this is too much even for me right now. I think you need to just dial it back a little bit. Go put him back in the costume so I can enjoy this and not cry about the ending.
Yeah, that all this was fake. Because,
yes.
I mean, theoretically, in a world of superheroes, that this type of situation would make sense where somebody's, thinking they're a superhero.
And then for them to, like, say, yeah, no, it's just in a pocket. This story doesn't, like, connect to the overworld or anything.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, this is how you make it a pocket? It never actually happened?
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah. It would be so, like, damn it, you got me, and I hate it, but I love it at the same time.
Yeah. So, but yes. Then they make it to the door, and poof, hello. She was very surprised.
She was so well rendered. Like, you could see just like the tension of the moment with like the way her nostrils were flaring, and she was looking back and forth, and she was just like, hello. She was like so flustered, like she didn't know what to do either.
Yep.
There was some excellent CG work.
It was. Good job, y'all.
Especially for a TV show.
See why you only did 6 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we have to get rid of Khonshu for 2 episodes to pay for this hippo.
What hippo? Just wait.
Yeah. So also the lady that plays the hippo is scheduled to show up in the next 2 episodes.
Oh.
So she's planning on being on all 3 episodes. So she should be important.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good. I think Mark's about to get reborn. Again, but only after he fully accepts all of himself. And which means they're gonna find out about Jake or Scotty. Jake/Scotty.
Yeah. Jotty.
So
Skake.
And then we're gonna find so one thing, since they're like twisting and moving everything into each other, one thing I really thought that they might do, I don't think they would, so they could make Jake's outfit, if he does get the Avatar outfit, Hunter's Moon.
The like the black outfit. That would be super cool.
So because he would be the most brutal version, and then his weapon would be the claw knuckles.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. I'm already.
I mean, he's a killer.
He is.
So what if Jake is the one that killed Layla's father, and they have no clue? What if it's Jake instead of Bushmaster?
And that's why he's splitting up like this. Oh, Dylan, don't super fight night me.
Yeah, he's Tyler Durden.
I would actually probably be like, oh man, y'all gonna have to actually get a divorce, because
right, just the fact that like, so like, you know how like some relationships in comics are like super antiquated. It's like they need an update. Like they made it worse in this one, where it's like, you only found me because you felt guilty, and then dude straight up married her, knowing this whole time. Like, oh, really, dude? Like, come on. Like, Mark is a bastard.
Yes.
Like, dude, I really need to tell you something. Oh, you want to make out? Okay, cool. Oh, you want to get married? Okay, cool. I really need to.
But once again, we need to talk at some point in time.
Like, like, bruh, oh man, you didn't have a moment like this dude. So like these personalities are set up because of trauma. Like this dude really, really had a problem with confrontation.
Yeah.
So much so that he like created another personality. Like, bruh, like
Yes.
what? And it's so like in the comics, it's revealed that Mark has had DID since he was a child. So like, what happened to this dude? that all this is trauma is like splitting his personality outside of just Khonshu. Because there was one thing Arthur Harrow said is that he's gone through so much, it's more than anyone can take. Anyone. That's why he needs. That's why his brain is going. Okay, let's
just
compartmentalize
split up,
this.
guys.
Yeah.
Put everything where we need to be. It's gonna be all good. It's gonna be fine. And yeah, he I don't know. I don't know if they're going to show us. I hope they don't, because it's probably super messed up. But it's also still Disney Plus. But at the same time, they've put goddamn Luke Cage on Disney Plus, and they say, let's go get some coffee, and it just turns into so I don't. So they could go.
I find it really cool. I don't have.
Hey, listen!
That's all I got.
And they turn it into. Well, they could turn it into some of that, but I think they're still trying to keep it as close to action stuff as possible. But yeah.
The DID stuff is pretty dark. It's pretty dark.
And quick too. Real quick. It don't play. It's like the set, because let's say you see it and it's like, oh, he's talking to himself. Oh, it's really quippy. But then you like think about what's actually going on, like looking at it through a third lens. It's like, oh, like if I was in front of him seeing this and then I see him transform, oh no, sir.
Yeah, because all these mirrored reactions are happening. He's not talking to anybody but himself. Nobody else sees that.
No one else sees it. But you know it's real because, and then that's how you tell that it is real in the show. I do like that they did it, because now each avatar, each time he transforms,
You know who he is.
know who exactly who he is.
that moment where he flipped, where he was like, take the body, where he flipped from Mr. Knight to Moon Knight, like that's freaking obvious right there.
Yep. So, and I think that's also probably the other thing, is like he's not operating at like full strength, because he hasn't got, like, all three of them have not like just sat down and be like, yeah, I'm me, and you're me. High five.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in that comic run, there's a very powerful panel where he kind of takes control, and each personality kind of crushes the skull of Khonshu, and he takes control of himself. But I don't like it looks cool, and it works thematically, but I don't understand how that works practically, because without Khonshu, he can't be Moon Knight, so. It's like,
I mean,
how are you being a better Moon Knight with no Khonshu? Like, I don't know how that works, but
I mean, if you, it's like Thor. If
I'm still worthy.
still work, like if you kill Thor, the hammer's still gonna work. But
Yeah, but there's not a
Avatar Thor.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is like there's not an artifact that makes him Moon Knight.
Unless he like, I feel like there's a not a workaround, a loophole.
There's got to be.
Yeah, there's a loophole somewhere in here. Even if it's like you can only use your powers at the full moon now, type of thing. So
Yeah, and another little Easter egg at the end of every episode. When they show the moon, it is in a different phase, and it's changing as we go. And now it's in a waxing phase, which is kind of like with the disappearance of Khonshu.
That's cool. So yeah. Any other theories that you have, Dylan? Or theories that you have heard, seen?
I was, to be honest, like I had seen like references to this comic run. I haven't read the comic run, but I was aware of like I mean, we've seen the teasers of him in the mental hospital, and I just thought he was going to go to a mental hospital, you know.
Yeah.
So I was kind of blindsided. So I don't know where they're going with this. You know, I mean, they could very well leave it in a
So
I don't think they're gonna leave it as it never
stuck,
happened because we met Towet.
Yeah.
And she is going to help him
Get back.
Yeah, and we know that there are like it's true what he's seeing. Although he's an unreliable narrator, so we could be getting very like Legion vibes, right? Where some of this is just happening in his head, even though it shows on screen, looks completely real. So it could just be Steven running through the hospital, but we're seeing, or not Steven, but Mark, we're seeing Steven, we're seeing Towet, he's seeing those things, but they're not actually there.
Yeah.
And all this could be happening just in a mental hospital someplace. And ta-da, boom, we're done.
Which is the way they made you feel like it was actually happening.
Right.
Because even the guards that were, not the guards, the nurses? Assistants? I don't know. The orderlies that were there, they were Harrow's folks. Mm-hmm. So, and they, were just doing everything. So, yeah, it made...
And even their names are the same, they're the same ones from the comic that turn out to be jackals.
Oh, my God. So, I feel like he's going to turn them into jackals, like low-key.
No, dude straight up died. He was gutted by a mummy in the first half.
Yeah, that's right. God goodness. Just put him... Mummy... Like, why? What would you need to do this for?
Yeah, that's... I was confused by, like, the purpose. Like, I get, it's horror vibes, but it's like... What was the purpose? Like, they're there to protect the tomb, so I get them murdering them, but why are they like trying to
mummify them?
You mummify them. Is that just what they do?
I guess.
Maybe it's just
whatever
scarier.
Weird dark magic did it to this mess.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Bear with me.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Alexander the Great turns on Reba.
Reba.
he turns on Crocodile Lady and Ahmed. He turns on Ahmed, but he can't do it alone. So he then this could spark the Civil War too. He then goes to... Ahmed has some crazy plans. Let's just say that. Ahmed's like, yeah, no, we're going to judge the entire world, bring them all to the knees, and just send them all to doom and death. Mm-hmm. Anubis isn't necessarily the baddest guy. He's like, no, I get what you're coming from. That's cool. I would love the business, but it has to happen naturally. You can't be going out there and doing this.
And that makes sense why she would get him out of the way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then so Alexander the Great's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Cuts ties, goes over to like, big newbie, help me out here, dog. Anubis is like, what can I do for you, Alex? Nah, nothing much, damn it. It's good. So then Alexander the Great becomes the avatar of Anubis for a time. Then he goes out, subdues her, they seal her away, and then by this time he thank you, the deal's off, and all that. And so Anubis is still within his debt. So he's like, when you die, I will send someone to guard your tomb so that all your riches or anything else that you want there left alone will be left in peace. And that's why you got that running around. So is the only thing I think of because they didn't. they unearthed the tomb, and then you got this goddamn leather skinned. I look like I've been in Florida tanning for 2 days straight. Coming out, I lost my teeth dentures, and yeah.
I thought for sure at some point they were gonna tie it to Kang. But
This was the time.
yeah, this was the time to do it. And they were saying that they did something really big and cool in episode 4. So I guess that's the tomb of Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Which would, I guess, be cool. But I was expecting like MCU cool, tied in cool.
So he did.
Unless they, like there's more to be revealed about it.
He did meet Eternals. I'm dead positive Alexander the Great had met with some of the Eternals at some point in time.
That makes sense. I mean, some of the Eternals were very influential in Greek culture.
And I think, and like in all honesty, I feel like that axe is actually the same axe that would be from the comics. Unless What's-Her-Face took it. But then the tomb hasn't been disturbed. She didn't take it. It would be cool if she does come back for it, though. But they're in space. That won't happen. Well, we don't know when this happens. It's fine.
Well, we know it's after the snap, at least.
Yeah.
Or the return. Or the blip, I guess.
The unblip.
Yeah.
De-blipping. Yes.
Yeah. Because the GRC has been seen and all of them.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else?
I really want them to tie it into Kang. Because,
all they gotta do is say Robert Tut.
I mean, so last episode there was a big Kang tie-in, purposeful.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought that this episode it would be Ramen Tut. On the back of that dude's jacket was literally Ramen Tut's headdress. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be 2 until he said Alexander. I was like, dog it. I even said right before he said Robert. So
yeah, unless they remix it and make Alexander the Great
a Kang.
Yeah, a Kang. Yeah.
It would make sense.
Because I mean, Kang doesn't always look like Kang, right?
No, it does not. What would have been really cool is if they were gonna do that, if like the hieroglyphs on the wall detailed like one of the battles, and you just see this big old dude and like kind of the paint's faded but it's gray, his bald head, but 2 things going from like his shoulder to his wrist, and him just holding out his hand, and you see something coming out of it,
like
big
apocalypse. Because I mean, there's got to be some type of apocalypse there somewhere.
This apocalypse is one of Kang's generals, Ramatut's generals.
Who was? Oh, really? Which Oscar Isaac? Yeah. They probably want to avoid that tie-in.
Yes.
Go Power Rangers.
It would also be because he was Apocalypse. That would have been very funny.
Yeah.
It would have been fun. Oh wow! All right, I don't have anything else unless you do.
No, that's all I've got for this episode. Really looking forward to how they close it out and what they're going to do with it. And I personally, I want to believe so hard that there are going to be things that they either reframe or retcon into the greater MCU. That they're literally going to be things that tie in directly to where they're taking everything, whether it be with Doctor Strange or whatever else. Even though they might not have meant it right now, they're going to be just like, oh hey, yeah, that thing, boom, right here. Yeah. So that's all we got for that. So, in MCU news, let's check out what we got here. Let me see real quick.
Thor: Love and Thunder teaser dropped.
Yep. Thor: Love and Thunder cheeser.
Cheeser.
Teaser. Super cheesy.
That was super cheesy.
They had last episode. There was a camera accidentally in the thing, but to be fair, in Moon Knight, sometimes they do stuff like that. Where so that could have been just like an Easter egg. We'll see. So confirmation that Hawkeye will not get a season 2.
Okay.
That it was a limited series because of the way they are submitting things for Emmys. It is in the limited series category.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It didn't need a season 2.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to. So there are, according to Giant Freaking Robot, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones has been cast in a major upcoming Marvel project.
Okay.
And you would think for her, like she's a big one, that she's going to play somebody big.
Yeah.
Along with that, there are rumors that Andrew Lincoln is in talks with Marvel to play somebody.
Who? Frankie's Namor.
No, they already got Namor.
They got Namor? That's right.
Yeah,
They
because
got
Black Panther's done filming.
Yes, they got the pretty guy.
Yeah, the guy from the Netflix series.
Narcos?
Narcos, yeah.
Yeah.
The rumor is that he's going to be Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that's where people are kind of assuming, or that. So he's just in talks. Nothing
Dr.
confirmed.
Doom.
Dr. Doom would be great.
Yeah.
I would love him. I mean, I would love other people more.
I mean,
But Andrew Lincoln, like, dude commits. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. I don't.
see.
I put a mask on his face because I can't unsee Rick.
Swerve, he's Ben Grimm.
Read, I can't. With this news of Lena Headey and Andrew Lincoln, if they were Reed Richards and Sue Storm, there would be an older casting, which is unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect them to cast somebody younger.
But they could be going with that whole story that they've been
Yeah.
trapped away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the age that they were. Kind of like,
Yeah, so I mean, it's expected that they'd be younger because we're looking for somebody that can kind of prop up the MCU for the next decade, kind of like how RDJ did, right? To be fair, RDJ is in his 50s now, so
I thought it was 60.
maybe. I mean, I don't know, but Andrew Lincoln, he could pull off Reed Richards.
He
mean, he's very talented.
I can see it.
But it's kind of like the original casting in the 90s Fantastic Four. It's like who is this dude? Who is this guy? Did he do it? Did he do a great job? Sure. Yeah, he was believable. But could they have been better? Absolutely. There's so many better people. Like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know. I mean, I hate to say that because casting unknowns can be very powerful.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lena Headey, along with this news, it's kind of like it's got me thinking. I'm still hoping. I'm still holding out for John Krasinski and Emily Blunt because obvious reasons, and they're both down to do it. Why wouldn't you at this point?
Who knows? Oh man, that'd be cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yep. So we got Love and Thunder teaser earlier this week, and I'm swiping through some stuff here, looking for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which will be in March 29th. So it's been pushed back. With that news, Madam Web is getting a 2023 theatrical release. So they are pushing that one out quick. Which is next year. So they've got to start filming like already.
Yeah.
Especially as CG heavy as that should be. So they're probably trying to twist all this.
2022.
Yeah. We're halfway through almost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're
Quarter
third of the way through,
third.
at the very least. Echo the Echo spinoff is filming now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
See some more Daredevil, hopefully.
Yeah, he's slated to be in it from rumors and such. With the leaked slate that came out with supposed to be him in it. Also Wilson Fisk. So yeah, that's all I've got for that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, what's coming up next in the MCU? She-Hulk mid 2022. Wow.
Mid 2022.
Smelling toast here. So mid 2022. So She-Hulk should be sometime in the summertime. Secret Invasion late 2022, fall. What If season 2, don't know exactly when. Of course, we in the middle of Moon Knight right now. Doctor Strange 2, less than a month away, and we've got our tickets. Yep. And Ms. Marvel, June 8th, Thor, Love and Thunder, has not been pushed back, even though they waited the teaser for whatever reason. Thought they were waiting on that teaser because of some big reveal or tie-in.
No.
Potentially, maybe they're waiting the teaser just to kind of get people off their back, because the teaser didn't really reveal much.
It just told you stuff that was already going to happen, and Thor doing this mess with big chains.
Mm-hmm. Some Tori Amos going on. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been pushed back. Maybe they'll release a bigger trailer that'll kind of be darker toned after. I expect after Doctor Strange, after it's been out for a little bit.
Who will the villain be? Who's the villain?
Gorr, the God Butcher.
Gorr's the villain? Oh,
In
that's fine.
Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they teased that too with the So yeah, we're going to talk about that at a later date. Ms. Marvel, yep, Thor. Thor is going to be in July 8th. Black Panther 2 on November 11th, and they are in post-production on that. And of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, late 2022. Karen Gilliam, who plays cannot think of it. The sister, not Gamora.
Oh,
Nebula, who plays Nebula, says that she thinks this is some of James Gunn's best work on Guardians, and he confirmed he believes it too. So that they are planning to introduce new people in this. So this is probably going to be a prequel. It's going to be Thor is going to be like Guardians 2.5.
Yeah.
This is going to be Guardians 2.75. And then we'll get Guardians 3.
Guardians 2.9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So that's all I got.
You want to bet money? Let's bet money real quick.
Oh boy.
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Adam Warlock.
Seeing how they've already teased it, I don't think Thor is going to show that. That makes sense. Yeah. Thor's got other things.
Dude, that's going on with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they reveal it in Thor, I think there's too much in Thor to cover than Adam Warlock. Unless there's a teaser, like an after credits teaser with Adam Warlock, like they did in Guardians 2. Excuse me.
I think well.
I agree with you. I think Adam Warlock, that makes sense that they would introduce him there.
Cool.
Probably get some Harry Styles in there too. If I had to guess.
I don't want Star Fox.
Could you imagine Star Fox and Pip the Troll in James Gunn's hands?
It'd be too much. Be that Justice League. It'd be. Oh my goodness. And the Peacemaker was so good.
Yeah. So, yeah, all right. So yeah, so they released the Thor poster, right? Natalie Portman released her own Thor poster that had her in that place. Because on Thor's poster it says the one and only, and then on hers it says not the only one or something like play on it.
Yeah.
But in that scene at the very end where she's holding it, and so John Cena and James Gunn are throwing around a photo of her. They put the Peacemaker helmet on her.
Ah.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, so that's all I got. You got anything else, Quinn?
I do not.
All righty. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope that you will join us live every Thursday night on YouTube or wherever else you get wherever you watch your videos on Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Thursday nights, Central Standard Time, 9:30-ish, depending on our schedules. So yeah, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos and when we go live finally. And so don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And we'll see you next time. I'm Dylan.
I'm kidding. I'm Quinn.
Squawk. Yeah, all right. All right. Peace.
Bye.